All right, I already dropped my top 10 fall designer fragrances for 2024. Now this list is for you guys out there that want to step your game up a little bit. If that's you, let's go. Class is in session. What's going on YouTube? I'm the BowTie fragrance guy. I talk about fragrances on this channel, of course, but I also throw in a little bit of style, grooming content as well. It's not just important to smell good, guys. It's important to look your best every day, every time you step out the door. So if you're into that, make sure you hit subscribe. Don't forget to enable notifications by hitting that bell icon as well. So that way, when I upload new videos, you'll get notified. All right, guys, on today, we're gonna be talking about some high-end designer fragrances that are great to wear in the fall. So I'm gonna give you 10 what I feel are great recommendations. For me personally, the reason I want to do this list, sometimes with high-end designer fragrances, although they are technically, of course, designer fragrances, it would be unfair to me to compare a lot of these fragrances to just the typical designer fragrance that you would see in your big box retailers. All right. And the second thing about that is, of course, you talk about price point. These prices a lot of time, of course, are more comparable to niche fragrances. So sometimes people kind of struggle with, not necessarily struggle, but sometimes you'll see people put these on a niche list. Sometimes they'll put them on a designer list. But to make it fair, I want to give them its own list. All right. So I have 10 high-end designer fragrances that I think are great to wear for the fall. So I'm going to give you these recommendations. One of the great things about high-end designer fragrances, because of the price point and things of that nature, to me, you're gonna get a little bit more of a creative fragrance and a little bit more something unique versus what you will find in most other designer fragrances. And of course, I guess the downside to it is, again, it's gonna cost more than the average designer fragrance. But anyway, like I said, this is for people that wanna step their game up a little bit. So I'm gonna run the intro, and when we come back, we'll get into a top 10 high-end designer fall fragrance recommendations. If you want to see what's on this list, and listen, I think you might want to stick around for it, then you know the routine. Keep it locked right here. Let's get it. Step the game up, man. Real.
The BowTie Fragrance Guy.
All right, guys, we are back. Thank you so much for keeping it locked in. Let's jump right into this video. This first fragrance is a fragrance from the brand of Guerlain. I think it actually was released last year. It is a fantastic fragrance from the brand of Guerlain. This one is called Tobacco Honey. Tobacco Honey. And what you get with this one right here, of course, is honey, tobacco, cloves, and tonka bean as some of the main notes. The honey in here reminds me of that honey from Back to Black from by Killian. Very sexy fragrance, very well done. She emailed me, one of the ladies that works in their marketing team, and told me that this fragrance actually won an award last year. Not surprised by that, because it is so good. And to me, on average, guys, I know there's anecdotal situations where you'll find a designer fragrance that you'll find in your big box retailers like Macy's and Dillard's and places like that, that may kind of compete with these fragrances with how well done they are, the creativity, quality ingredients and all that kind of stuff. But on average, that's where these separate themselves from a lot of those designer fragrances. I haven't smelled any designer fragrance that smells anything like this one. Oh my God. Again, that tobacco honey combination in here is first class. So if you're looking for something unique, if you like tobacco and honey, this is one you might want to add to your collection or your rotation for the fall. Work in the winter as well, but we're talking about fall right now. But from the brand of Guerlain, Tobacco Honey. All right, guys, this next fragrance comes from the brand of Louis Vuitton. Now, even in my collection, this one doesn't get as much mention, but when you talk about cooler months or colder temperatures, this, out of all my Louis Vuitton designer fragrances, this one is one of the best. This one is called Nouveau Monde. Nouveau Monde. This is a sexy beast right here, man. Leather, cacao, caramel, saffron, and oud are some of the main notes. This is phenomenal. It's such a unique fragrance from the standpoint, the cacao in this just gives it this very unique feel, because other than that, it kind of smells like maybe like even like ombre nomad, because it has that rose oud thing going for it. But with the leather and the saffron giving that earthy, almost contributing to a leathery nuance here, the cacao just gives it this, not sweet, but it gives it some character, because the cacao here is more bitter. So it's like a bitter chocolate almost that you get here, but very unique, but very sexy. Great for the fall time. From the brand of Louis Vuitton. Check this one out, guys. Nouveau Monde. Next up, this fragrance comes from the brand of Christian Dior. Now this is from their La Collection Privée collection, and this one is called Eau Noire. Eau Noire from Christian Dior. And what you're gonna get with this one, guys, thyme and sage up top with some lavender, coffee, immortelle, and vanilla as some of the main notes. This is so good. That thyme and sage combination up top gives this almost herbal, kind of spicy essence in the opening of the fragrance, but then it contrasts because it goes full gourmand after that. So imagine adding a herbal kind of spiciness up top to maybe like a new Harlem from Bond Number 9. And that's kind of sort of what you get here, because that dry down with that immortelle, which is honeyed, like it's a honeyed immortelle in here, which is amazing because it works with all those gourmand notes that you kind of get on the dry down with the coffee and lavender and stuff like that. This is a masterpiece of a fragrance. I think it was originally released in 2004. At that time, it was green. But now that I think MFK, Mason Francis Kirkjohn, is the in-house perfumer for Dior now. And the juice color has changed to this almost yellow or golden colored liquid, but it's just as good in my humble opinion. But if you're looking for something great for the fall, this is one you need to check out. Again, this one is called Eau Noire from the Christian Dior La Collection Privée collection. All right, guys, next up, a fragrance comes from the Carolina Herrera. I think I've talked to you guys about it before. I have. The La Confidential collection, I think is the name of it. And guys, this is one of the best from that line. They all are tremendous, but this is one of my favorites. This is called Amber Desire. Amber Desire, Carolina Herrera. What you hear is amber, rose, cinnamon, dates, and patchouli. This is so good. Just on scent profile alone, this would definitely be like in the top 3. I will say with these fragrances from this collection, I think these are, what is it? I think it's EDP. Yeah, I think they're, EDP concentrations. All of them are very intimate. And I haven't found one yet from that collection that lasts more than 6 hours. Most of them are giving me between 4 to 6 hours. So some people may knock it for that. I really don't care. I have so many fragrances, it doesn't bother me. But I think these retail for about that $250 price range. And like I said before, a lot of the high-end designer fragrances you find will retail more than typical designer fragrances. But anyway, if you love amber, this right here, man. The honey, the dates in here, the amber, this is, oh my gosh. If you like gourmands, this is kind of like a gourmand amber fragrance. You gotta smell it, man. It smells phenomenal. But it's great for fall too as well. I think this would be a great recommendation if you love amber. This is called Amber Desire from the Carolina Herrera Confidential collection. All right, guys, when I want to be sexy, this is a fragrance that I reach for from the Tom Ford Private Blend collection. I've talked about this here recently, Fougère Platine. Fougère Platine, basil, lavender, honey, tobacco, and oil. Oh my gosh. Again, I say this all the time when I talk about this. Tom Ford took one of the most masculine genres of fragrances, which is a fougère. Of course, the lavender and all that kind of stuff gave this kind of spicy nuance up top with the basil. There's a few other spices in here as well, but that's the main one that I pick up. And then he threw in that honey, tobacco, and opium. My goodness. This fall, put a suit on and wear this. Thank me later. From the brand of Tom Ford, Fougère Platine. Next up, guys, this is an OG from the brand of Hermes. This is called Ambre Narguile. Ambre Narguile from Hermes. Honey, cinnamon, tonka bean, tobacco, and sesame. Gee whiz, guys, this smells like apple pie. There are a lot of fragrances out now that I love that have a similar scent profile. This was the originator. For me, for fragrances that I smell that had that scent profile that kind of smells like that apple pie. I have probably about 10 of them now in my collection that have a similar scent profile. Ambre Tabac from Daniel Hossier, Wajan from Parfums, the Marley. We have 1 Million Privée. Again, I have quite a few now that kind of fall in this category, but this was the originator. My bottle has had time to macerate, and it's gotten better and better. Gee whiz, check this out, guys. Apple pie, Thanksgiving is that time of year, from the brand of Hermes, Ambre Narguile. All right, guys, the next up on the list, speaking of Thanksgiving, this next fragrance comes from the brand of YSL, and this one is called Caftan. And what you get with this fragrance is tangerine, benzoin, labdanum, and musk. Oh, God. So this fragrance smells like, again, this may sound crazy to you, but it smells like sweet potato pie. That's what it smells like. So again, when do we have sweet potato pie? Most of the times, Thanksgiving. Of course, Thanksgiving is a holiday that transpires in the fall. This is just a perfect fall fragrance to me because of that imagery that this evokes for me. But somehow these notes come together to remind me of that, which, then if you know anything about me, that is like my favorite food. Anything with sweet potatoes is my favorite. Sweet potato pie, sweet potato souffle, sweet potato casserole, candy, you name it, my favorite food of all time. So if that's ever a trivial question, I'm doing a giveaway. Remember, sweet potatoes is my favorite food in the world. So anyway, Caftan from YSL. Beautiful tangerine up top, which is a note that's underutilized in fragrances. You get orange, you get that kind of stuff a lot, but not tangerine. This is just try it, guys, for real. Try it. Again, perfect for the fall season. Caftan. I know a lot of other fragrances from this line get the shine, tuxedo, some other ones, but this to me is just as good. Again, this one's called Caftan. All right, guys, next up from the brand of Chanel, one of my favorites of all time, coromandel. This is coromandel. You get patchouli, bitter orange, white chocolate, and amber. Oh my gosh, guys. Look, when I talk about this fragrance, most of the time I have to mention the white chocolate, of course, in the patchouli, because that's really what this fragrance is all about. You patchouli lovers out there, if you have never smelled this fragrance, you are doing yourself, your nose, and your skin a disservice by not experiencing this fragrance from Chanel. Obviously, a lot of these fragrances, man, they are more widely known or popular fragrance brands, and a lot of time with these private collections or these more high-end designer fragrance collections, they put the time and the resources and the ingredients and stuff into it, and you can definitely smell that with these Chanel fragrances for sure, especially this one, which is my favorite from that whole Chanel line, man. Coromandel, white chocolate, patchouli, amber. What is not to love about it? One of my favorites of all time, so check it out this fall. This is Coromandel. All right, this next fragrance goes back to the YSL collection. I think it's called a La Vestiaire de Parfums collection. This one is called Babycat. This is called Babycat, guys. This is black pepper, elemi, saffron, suede, and bourbon vanilla as some of the main notes. Obviously, this is centered around a note of vanilla. I love it. As I always tell you guys, when I think about notes that sweeten up fragrances, tonka bean, vanilla, the first two notes that come to mind, and I'm much more of a fan of tonka bean of the two. But this, I would say, is probably my favorite vanilla-based fragrance. It is warm, it's spicy, and again, it is perfect for the fall season. When I think fall, I think cozy, and this fragrance gives me nothing but cozy vibes. Love this stuff. It is really, really well done. To me, this gives Tuxedo a run for its money. That's my favorite from that whole collection. But anyway, this is definitely a banger. It's discontinued, so if you can find it without having to sell a kidney would be a good idea. But this one is called Babycat. And last but not least, at least on this channel, a fragrance that needs no introduction. We're going back to Christian Dior, and this is Ambre Nuit. Ambre Nuit, amber, rose, ambergris, labdanum, some of the main notes. Just check it out, guys. It just came out with the new iteration of this fragrance. I can't remember the name of the collection off the top of my head, but definitely interested in checking it out. But for right now, the original Ambre Nuit is fall in a bottle. It's everything I love about fragrances and more. So check this one out. I've talked about it more, so I won't talk about it as much at this time, but it's a masterpiece, guys. If you love amber, do yourself a favor and check this out from the brand of Christian Dior, Ambre Nuit. But that is it, guys. That's my time. I hope you enjoyed this video today. As always, I sincerely appreciate your time, and I appreciate you guys' attention to these videos. I know you don't have to watch, but you do. From the bottom of my heart, man, I sincerely appreciate it. Now, don't forget, take a few moments to like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure, guys, you are sharing these videos out to some other folks out there that you think could use the information or find it entertaining. Because I'm your guy, Darren. I'm the BowTie Fragrance Guy. I love to look good, and of course, I love to smell fantastic. So until next time, keep looking good, keep smelling even better. I'll catch you on the flip side.